This moment is not a coincidence. You didn't stumble here. You were drawn, your spirit tugged by something greater than logic, pulled by a force too quiet for the ears, but too loud for the soul to ignore. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That low hum underneath your thoughts, the ache behind your questions, the flicker of something more every time the world goes quiet. This is it. The moment your spirit has been waiting for, even if your mind can't quite make sense of it yet. Heaven is leaning toward you. God, the creator of galaxies and atoms, is whispering directly to you right now. Not through thunder or fire, but through the stillness that wraps itself around this very breath. You. Not the person next to you, not someone more perfect or prepared. You are the one he's been speaking to through signs you almost missed. A line in a song that made your heart ache. A stranger's kindness that felt oddly timed. That dream you dismissed as random. That inner stirring that kept nudging you awake at 2:11 a.m. That was him. You see, the spiritual world doesn't shout. It moves like wind over water. It stirs the depths before the surface changes. And God has been stirring you, shifting pieces quietly behind the scenes, rearranging details, delaying things not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because what's coming requires a ready heart, not a rushed one. Listen closely. This is not just another message. This is a divine encounter. And deep down you know it. There's a stillness falling over the chaos in your thoughts. A holy hush pressing through the noise. This right here is the space where God speaks not to your ears, but to your essence. To the core of who you are, beneath the layers of performance pain or pretending. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the crowd. You are not too far gone or too late. You are not overlooked. You are chosen. Before time unrolled like a scroll, God spoke your name into eternity. He wrote purpose into your DNA. And even when you wandered, He watched. Even when you doubted, He stayed. Even when you silenced your own heart, He never stopped calling. Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. This is that today. This is that sacred brush with something eternal. You might be tempted to shrug this off, to keep scrolling, to dismiss this nudge as a coincidence. But pause. Feel that weight in your chest. That's not anxiety. That's glory. That's the presence of the living God, pressing gently against the edges of your soul, waiting for you to lean in. This is not emotional hype. This is holy ground. Right now, heaven is still. Angels pause. The atmosphere shifts because your awareness is opening. The veil is lifting, and God is no longer knocking softly. He is inviting you into conversation, into alignment, into purpose. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. 1 Samuel 3:10. Can you say that? Not with trembling, but with surrender. Not with perfect clarity, but with real courage. You don't have to understand everything to respond. You only need to open the door. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for presence. He's not interested in how holy you look to others. He's focused on how open you are right now. He's seen the moments you nearly gave up, the questions you've dared not say aloud. He's watched as you carried hope in one hand and heartbreak in the other. And He never turned away. The world may define you by what you've done or what you haven't done. But God defines you by what He's placed inside you. And what's inside you is awakening. It's been buried beneath years of noise, pain, delay, distraction, but it's not dead. It's stirring now, like embers rekindled under divine breath. The light in you was never extinguished. It was simply waiting for this moment of oxygen. Your yes. You are standing at a threshold now, not just metaphorically, but spiritually. The weight you feel is not fear. It's the gravity of calling. the sacred pull of destiny making itself known in your bones. This is not emotionalism. This is eternity tapping your chest. Look around. Listen in. The signs have always been there, haven't they? The near misses, the narrow escapes, the gentle redirections. What felt like closed doors were actually divine corridors, turning your feet toward alignment. Heaven has been weaving this moment with precision. And now, all of heaven is asking you just one thing. Will you answer? You don't need a perfect plan. Just an open heart. You don't need all the answers. Just enough faith to whisper, "I'm listening." So pause. Really pause. Let this moment be what it was always meant to be. A divine encounter between your soul and its creator. Lay down your defenses. Silence the noise. Release the need to understand everything. Just respond. "I'm here, Lord. I don't know what's coming, but I trust you. I receive this moment as sacred. I choose to listen." That is enough. Because when heaven finds a listening heart, it unleashes an unstoppable move. And your yes is the key. Let it open the door. Let it begin. You said yes. Even if your voice trembled, even if it was just a whisper inside your spirit, heaven heard you. That simple agreement, "I'm listening," has already shifted something. You may not feel it yet, but in the unseen realm, alignment has begun. What was dormant is waking. What was stuck is stirring. And now the question begins to rise. If God has been speaking, then why the delays? Why the silence? Why the long nights filled with questions that never seem to echo back with answers? Because God wasn't ignoring you. He was preparing you. There is a difference between being denied and being developed. You see, the wilderness wasn't punishment. It was training ground. The silence wasn't absence. It was strategy. Like a master sculptor working beneath the surface, God has been carving away everything that would not serve your next season. Not to harm you, but to hollow out the places where His glory would eventually reside. He is too intentional to rush and too loving to withhold. What felt like being stuck was really being secured. You were like a seed planted deep in the soil, buried beneath pressure and darkness. You thought nothing was happening, but beneath the surface roots were growing, foundation was forming, and heaven was whispering, "Not yet, but soon." You were hidden for a reason, not because you weren't worthy, but because you were sacred. Precious things are protected. Gold is refined in fire. Diamonds are formed in pressure. Oil is crushed out of the olive. And purpose, real purpose, is always birthed in a place of tension and transformation. God wasn't withholding blessings. He was waiting for your heart to be able to hold them. If He had opened the door too soon, it would have crushed you. If He had given you the platform before your roots ran deep, the winds of life would have blown it all away. But now you're ready in ways you couldn't see before. There's a holy rhythm to the way God moves. Not fast, not slow, precise. You may look back on seasons of confusion, frustration, even heartbreak, and wonder what was the point. But when you see through heaven's lens, you'll begin to understand that nothing was wasted. The doors that didn't open, they were shields. The people who walked away, they were clearing the stage. The timing that didn't make sense, it was alignment in disguise. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. That verse isn't just comfort, it's strategy. Because your understanding was never meant to carry the weight of what God is building through you. Trust is the bridge between confusion and clarity, and right now that bridge is appearing under your feet. You're not the same person who entered the last season. You've been forged in silence, sharpened in waiting, strengthened in storms no one saw. While others were racing ahead, you were being rerouted by grace. And though it felt like delay, it was actually design. You are not behind. You are right on time. Because God's timing doesn't bow to human clocks. Heaven doesn't rush greatness. And make no mistake, there is greatness inside you. Not loud spotlight chasing greatness, but eternal rooted fruit-bearing greatness. The kind that speaks with peace, walks with humility, and carries weight when it prays. That kind of greatness takes time. But now the time is shifting. Heaven is beginning to align people, places, conversations, and confirmations around your name. It's as if the orchestra is tuning, instruments adjusting, lights dimming. And in the silence before the first note, you sense it. Your moment is near. You're not being prepared for performance. You're being positioned for purpose. This isn't about appearances. This is about alignment. When your heart, your habits, and your hope begin to move with the cadence of heaven, when things begin to happen quickly, not chaotically, but clearly. Decisions feel different. Distractions lose their grip. You stop trying to prove yourself and start living from a place of peace. This is the way. Walk in it. Isaiah 30:21. That's what alignment feels like. Like a whisper in the center of chaos, telling you which step to take. Like peace in the middle of tension. Like clarity where there used to be confusion. That's the evidence of heaven's hand. So if you're wondering why it took so long, it's because what you're carrying now couldn't have been trusted to the old version of you. The one who doubted every whisper. The one who looked for approval in the wrong places. The one who mistook noise for direction. That version had to be refined. And now you are ready, not because you feel ready, but because God says you are. Don't let your feelings lie to you in this moment. You are not empty. You are not late. You are not unqualified. You are prepared. The delay did not diminish your destiny. It deepened your roots. And now that the roots have grown, now that the foundation has been secured, the surface will begin to shift. What was buried will begin to break through. What was hidden will begin to shine. What was growing in secret will begin to bloom in public. But not for your glory, for His. This is the sacred unveiling. Let it begin. Let it rise. Let the delay fall away like a shell no longer needed. You were not buried to die. You were planted to grow. Now watch what happens when heaven says, it's time. It's time. Not just to recognize that you've been prepared, but to accept what you've been prepared for. Because all of this, the stirring, the delays, the whispers, the fire has been shaping you for something greater than comfort. It's been calling you into identity, into authority, into the truth that you are not average, not forgotten, not replaceable. You are chosen. And now heaven is waiting for you to believe it. You've spent years disqualifying yourself in silence, comparing, second-guessing, rehearsing your flaws like a script. But God doesn't speak to you according to your failures. He speaks to you according to your calling. And your calling has never changed. Your doubts didn't cancel it. Your past didn't void it. Your hesitation didn't delay heaven's intention. God is not second-guessing you. He chose you on purpose, for purpose, with purpose. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. 1 Peter 2:9. That is not just a beautiful verse. That is a spiritual declaration over your life. You are not an accident in your family line. You are not a background character in someone else's story. You are heaven's answer to a need in the earth, a solution hidden in time now revealed. There are things God wants to heal, restore, build, and speak through you. You've carried pain, good. It gave you compassion. You've been overlooked, good. It gave you humility. You've wrestled with fear, good. It gave you empathy. Everything the world said disqualified you is exactly what God is using as evidence that you're ready. The enemy has been working hard to convince you that your wounds make you weak. But heaven sees them as proof that you survived, that you endured, that you're still standing. And not just standing, you're carrying something sacred, something eternal, something this generation needs. There is oil on your life, not the kind you earn, but the kind you carry. The kind that only comes through pressure crushing and surrender. And now that oil is beginning to flow through your words, through your presence, through your obedience. You don't have to manufacture it. You just have to release it. But here's what you must know. Being chosen isn't just a title, it's a weight. It comes with responsibility, with vision, with a mandate to rise when others retreat, to speak when others stay silent, to walk in love when others throw stones. It means you won't always fit in, and you weren't meant to. You carry a different frequency. You move to a different rhythm. You're not here to blend in. You're here to carry light. And that light is inconvenient to darkness. That's why resistance rises when you start to step forward. That's why confusion tries to fog your mind right when clarity begins to form. That's why fear whispers loudest when you're closest to the breakthrough. Because the enemy isn't afraid of who you've been, he's afraid of who you're becoming. And you're becoming dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. But this isn't the time to shrink back. It's not the season to question your voice. It's not the moment to play small to make others comfortable. The world is not in need of more noise. It needs truth. It needs integrity. It needs presence. It needs fire. It needs you. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Let that verse not just be something you highlight. Let it be something you live. Because you're going to need courage for what's next. Not the kind of courage that roars, but the kind that moves forward anyway. The kind that stays faithful when no one's watching. The kind that forgives even when it hurts. The kind that says yes again and again, even when your knees shake. You don't need to convince anyone else of who you are. God already knows. And in this season, He's asking you to know it too. To stop waiting for someone to validate what heaven has already declared. To stop treating your voice like an echo when you were meant to speak with original fire. To stop acting like your dreams are too big when in reality they are too small for the God who placed them there. This is not the time to wonder if you're chosen. This is the time to walk like it. Not with arrogance, but with awareness. Not with pride, but with purpose. Not to boast, but to bless. Because you are not just called to feel inspired. You are called to be catalytic. Your life is not random. It is strategic. A divine placement in this hour. You are God's response to a cry in the earth. A vessel with a name written in heaven's script. And it's time to own it. Let your shoulders square. Let your head rise. Let your words carry weight. Let your prayers carry thunder. Let your silence carry wisdom. Let your love carry power. The earth is groaning for sons and daughters to rise, not just in word, but in presence, not just in posture, but in power. And now the heavens are leaning toward you again, asking, will you carry what I've placed inside you, not perfectly, not fearlessly, but faithfully? Because faith is what moves the mountain. Faith is what parts the sea. Faith is what steps through fire and comes out without the smell of smoke. You are not just anointed, you are appointed. This is your time. This is your space. Walk in it. Now that you're walking in, expect the atmosphere around you to shift. Because when someone rises into identity, the unseen world responds. Not everything will applaud. Not everything will be easy. But everything will become clear the moment you begin stepping boldly into who you are. Resistance shows its face not to stop you, but to test if you believe what God already said. You'll feel it. The tension, the pressure, the voices, both loud and subtle, that try to convince you to shrink back. Some will sound external. Most will sound like your own thoughts. But clarity doesn't mean the noise disappears. It means you finally know what not to listen to. This is the battlefield of discernment. Discernment is not paranoia. It's spiritual intelligence. It's the supernatural ability to see the difference between what is true and what only pretends to be. And now God is sharpening your eyes. Not the ones in your head, but the ones in your spirit. Because the fog is lifting. You're not guessing anymore. You're not stumbling around hoping you'll bump into the right decision. Heaven is shining light onto patterns, people, and paths so you can see clearly where to walk and where to wait. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith doesn't mean blindness. It means vision beyond logic. It means moving because of what you know in your spirit, even when nothing around you validates it yet. You know this feeling, that subtle inner check when something seems off, when the words say one thing but the spirit behind them says another. That quiet peace that falls over you when you're aligned. That deep, unsettled stirring when something looks right but feels wrong. That's not confusion. That's spiritual guidance. Discernment is your compass. Use it. In this season, God is fine-tuning your ability to recognize truth, especially in disguise. Some doors will look good, but won't be God. Some people will clap for you in public, but sabotage you in silence. Not because they're evil, but because they're not assigned. And when you're chosen, you don't just need support, you need alignment. Not everyone can go where you're going. And that's not cruelty, that's clarity. You can love them, bless them, pray for them, but you can't take weights into places that require wings. This is the hour to protect what God is building. Because what's on you is holy, and holy things need boundaries. Not walls built in fear, but gates guarded by wisdom. You'll begin to recognize who pours into you and who only drains you, who sharpens you and who distracts you, who speaks truth with love and who manipulates with charm. God is showing you not to make you suspicious, but to make you wise. You've already ignored too many nudges. You've already talked yourself out of too many signs. But now heaven is calling you to pay attention, to stop brushing off your intuition as imagination, to stop second-guessing the signals. Your spirit knows things your mind is just now catching up to. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. That doesn't mean the weapons won't form. It means they won't work. But you still have to be alert. You still have to listen. Not from a place of fear, but from a place of focus. Because the enemy isn't always loud. Sometimes he's subtle. He shows up as delay wrapped in distraction, as comparison hidden in conversation, as anxiety dressed up as responsibility, as comfort that slowly numbs your vision. So stay awake. When the doubt creeps in, go back to what God already made clear. When the opinions swirl, anchor yourself in His last word. When the fog rolls in, remember what you saw before the clouds came. This is the season to respond to peace, not pressure. To move from conviction, not chaos. To say yes because of alignment, not approval. And you'll know the difference. Because divine guidance doesn't scream. It whispers. It confirms. It repeats the message in unexpected places. It finds you in the line of a song, the page of a book, the random video that speaks exactly to your situation. That's not coincidence. That's heaven tracking you down. You are not being left to figure this out alone. The Holy Spirit is with you, counseling, comforting, convicting, clarifying. You are not walking in the dark anymore. You are walking by firelight. And that fire burns away every false thing. It reveals motives. It tests intentions. It separates holy from hollow. This is part of your refinement. Not so you can judge others, but so you can walk in truth. So you can pour your time, your energy, and your heart into things that bear fruit, not just attention. So you can stop entertaining things that look impressive, but leave you spiritually empty. This is where your discernment becomes your defense. Not everything that pulls on you deserves your presence. Not every invitation deserves your answer. Not every opportunity is an assignment. And not every battle is yours to fight. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to protect what's sacred. Let clarity be your covering. Let peace be your green light. Let inner unrest be your signal to pause. Because God's voice will never contradict His peace. Even in correction, it carries calm. Even in challenge, it carries direction. His guidance will always leave you more rooted, not more scattered. And now, as clarity sharpens and fog lifts, you are seeing things as they are. People, paths, patterns, even your own heart. You're not being paranoid. You're being positioned, and heaven is whispering again. Guard what I've given you, because what I'm about to pour out next will require vision unclouded. You've seen the fog lift. You've learned to trust the quiet voice of peace. You've started to walk differently, not because the world changed, but because you did. And now the winds are shifting again. This time they're not swirling with uncertainty. This time they're carrying momentum. Because this is not just awakening. This is activation. All of heaven has been aligning for this moment. Conversations are being prepared before you arrive. People are being stirred to notice your voice. Paths are clearing not by coincidence, but by commission. The doors you once knocked on in desperation are now opening by divine design. I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. Revelation 3:8. God is not just revealing purpose. He's positioning you in it. You're stepping into divine timing where what felt impossible before now feels inevitable, not because it got easier, but because you've been made stronger. This is where obedience becomes your power. It's not about doing something grand. It's about doing the next right thing. The email you feel nudged to send. The boundary you need to set. The idea that won't leave you alone. The apology tugging at your heart. These aren't small, they're keys. Every obedient step is unlocking the next part of your assignment. You're not just called to carry something, you're called to release it. There are gifts inside you that haven't fully awakened, creativity you haven't explored, wisdom you haven't spoken, healing you haven't offered. Not because you were unwilling, but because the timing wasn't right. But now is the time. God is about to put weight on your words. He's going to breathe on your ideas. He's going to highlight what you thought was ordinary and reveal its extraordinary impact. And it won't come with loud fanfare. It will come with confirmation, quiet, steady, unmistakable. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, and it will be given to him. James 1:4, this wisdom is already pouring in. Through dreams, through moments of stillness, through insights you can't explain. You'll see people differently. You'll hear conversations more deeply. You'll recognize what needs to shift, not out of pressure, but out of peace. What once confused you will begin to make sense. You'll understand why some doors never opened, why some people only stayed for a season, why you had to wait longer than others. It wasn't punishment. It was preservation. Heaven was making sure you'd step into your calling whole, not half-healed. Rooted, not reactive. Spirit-led, not approval-driven. And now, it's not just clarity you carry. It's commissioning. This is not about building your name. It's about releasing God's light. You are not stepping into a platform, you're stepping into a purpose. Whether it looks like parenting with more presence, leading with more grace, creating with more conviction, or loving with more truth, it will carry weight. Because you now carry weight. This is what alignment feels like, knowing your yes is echoed in heaven. You don't have to force anything. The wind is at your back. You don't have to beg for favor. It's already been assigned. You don't have to chase opportunities. They're being sent to meet you on the path of obedience. The Holy Spirit is your strategist. Follow the nudges. Obey the whispers. Lean into the seemingly small things, because those are the seeds of your legacy. Your impact will not always be visible, but it will be eternal. Every act of courage, every word of truth, every silent act of faith, it's making more room for heaven to touch earth. Let that truth steady you. Let it strip away every lingering doubt that says you're not ready. Let it silence the lie that you're too late, too broken, or too behind. You are exactly where you need to be for heaven to begin pouring through you. And what will pour through you? Grace that breaks cycles, wisdom that opens eyes, love that heals wounds, peace that settles storms, light that cannot be put out. Every good and perfect gift is from above. James 1:17. And those gifts, they're waking up inside you. You'll find yourself speaking with new clarity, listening with new compassion, moving with new authority, not because of who you are alone, but because of who you've allowed God to be through you. This is what it means to be chosen, to be a vessel, to be available, to be set apart not for status, but for service. And now that you've heard, now that you've been awakened, now that your heart has caught fire, there's no going back. This fire is not emotional hype. It's holy fuel. The old patterns won't hold you. The old fears won't chain you. The old limitations won't define you. What's rising in you is too strong, too real, too heaven-born to be ignored. This is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of your divine unfolding. So don't shrink. Stand. Don't second-guess. Speak. Don't delay. Step. Because God isn't just with you, He's in you. And He's walking ahead of you. This is your assignment. This is your release. This is your time. Now walk forward and don't look back.